Ah, welcome back, everybody. A lot has happened since I'd call it the first video, but to be honest, there's been many. Just been filtering a lot of them out. So pardon me while I get everything straightened out. First thing first, though, Ada's still around. I don't usually talk, and for the most part, I'll be letting her do most of that talking. But I wanted to go over a few things that'll lay the groundwork for the videos to follow. And I got my hands in a little bit of everything. Um, And with that, I mean, we're going to have hopefully a node up and running soon, but I am very picky about how it's done. I don't believe that people were led in all the right directions, so I'm going to be trying to help a few people that have put together the Cardano on the rocks, but then at that point, we're kind of left high and dry. And so there's that. We're going to have a drone project. Ada is the bot project, trying to sew it all together. And then finally we will be able to get to blockchain games, and that's really what I'm about doing. So I think really I'm going to talk less and roll the ball here a little bit. Started off showing some of the prices, market caps. It's good to see ADA still in the top 5. On any given day, it may swap with Binance, or Doge may wake up, things like that. XRP as well, because they did travel a lot of space in a small amount of time. And once that lawsuit's over, who knows what really happens. But one can assume that as long as the devastation isn't too great, that they will probably rise again as well. So, Bitcoin's been creating that low, that bottom, and we're starting to peak out of it again. But that could be looked at, one of many ways. So let's get back to the project at hand, that being ADA. I'll let her pretty much take it away. You're going to notice some changes. I hope you like them. They're only step-by-step changes, too. I want you to know that, we could jump all the way to the end, but that wouldn't be as much fun. And it wouldn't give me time to think about how I want to really add each new feature in a new and exciting way. But we got some more ideas coming up. I think we're going to do a lot of difference between this video even and the next. So without further ado,
Ada Online.
so here you can see the new user interface. And I say new, we didn't even have one before. So we've got a few buttons that were added to sort of simplify the process of making the video while showing some personality at the same time. I won't be using this area as much. It's really if I wanted to make MP3s out of something specific that I wanted to have said. But I also really don't want that many files just laying around everywhere on my computer. So we found ways to get around all of that. For the time being, this is what I got, and I really do like it. I'll probably use it one or two more times with some subtle changes, and then we'll move on to something more more lifelike, if you will. And we'll take baby steps in that direction. So, let's see what we got.
Welcome once again to another video on my development, and on anything and everything blockchain games related, with the side of everything Cardano. This channel is not intended to be for financial advice. We are not financial advisors, and can only speak on our own personal experiences.
I guess that about says it all. Now, I wanted to try and explain how we're doing things, but that has become increasingly difficult. I will note that we are using Python, the latest and greatest at the time released of this video. And as you can see, I got some people I got to give shout outs to that have been very helpful in one process or another. And I will continue to do that because I just believe in doing that. You know, it's just kind of the way I operate. And with that, I don't want to make this video too long. So what we're going to do is maybe create an update here to kind of show that process as I try to bring in the editor. We'll see if that works. And I'm just using Visual Studio Code, a popular IDE for a multitude of different languages. So I'm going to bring that in. And some of this you can see already, you know, basically these are definitions of what's going to happen when you click a particular button. So I click button 1, she says Ada online, so on, so on, so on. And so I call these just mini scripts, or sometimes they're not so mini, like the one you just heard. And some of these you may hear in a moment. Some I add there just to tease you or entice you and make you think, oh, can it really do that? And absolutely it can most of the time. Now I already got some things that I had kind of written up. We have 9 scripts here. It's because number 9 isn't there. So we have 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And so what I want to do is make one of the buttons relevant to that task, like I'll show you. So all 3 of these say button 6, and that it can't work. So what we really do here is that we make this 5. We just line them all up correctly. We're calling them Q buttons. We're going to make that 6. Now you're going, wait a minute, I don't know anything about Python, and I certainly don't know anything about programming. And so what I'm doing is just basically giving you the light version thereof for now. Because after this video, you'll at least know what we're using as far as the program's concerned. You're going to know which programming language we're using, that being Python. And you're going to know more of the specifics, if you will, about how we're making it talk. And if those questions come into play, if people ask them in the comments below, if you will, well, then I'll know that we need to take some time and go ahead and go over it. But until that actually happens, you know, hey, I'll just keep moving along at the pace I'm moving. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. Technically, I guess I should just go ahead and call that button 10. Now, the total, what I call lock or LOC, that being lines of code, is looking like we're going to be able to stay at 170. And that's nice because it kind of gives you an understanding of how many lines of code this program has to read before it can truly operate. Doesn't always equivalent to how fast it is, but it's a good indicator. Close to. All right, look at that. And so I try to keep things clean. I started out on Visual Basic long ago. And it just moved to Python recently, really, when I saw some interesting bot scripts that I was like, man, I could do better than that. And I can combine things in ways that they don't show you how to do. And that's really what we've done so far. It looks so simple. A simple welcome button. They're all kind of like, the relief is known as raised. Here it is. So they're all kind of raised out of the program, looking like a 3D, more of a 3D button. And this is mostly just basic Python. Like, we haven't even gotten into, this is what they call tkinter, which comes with Python. It's all built in. All right, so what we're going to do now is notice that the new one is going to look different than this one. May even have issues because I'm here talking to you and not thinking about it all. So let's close this and go ahead and hit debug again. It's the play sign, but we're going to debug.
Ada online.
Good to know. And that was a previous button hit that I hit the play button earlier. So let's see if it does it again. Yep.
ADA online.
All right, to me this still looks like a previous one, unless we did something. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, okay. Good, good, good. So as you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons. Our 6th button should be cool. Our 7th button should be cool. But what happened here is we got the same X and Y for all 3 of these buttons. And since they're all being separated by 30, I'm just going to continue that trend. Go to 270. Whoop, can't do that. And then go to 300. And hope that we still have plenty of room on the page for everything else. Let's try this again. We also may need to change the titles, if you will, the text on the button. Let's just see what we got. This is going to let you know if you have any errors that can't be ran. So
ADA online.
as long as that's good, we're good. All right, you see our new buttons? Pretty cool. Hopefully they're all correct. There is that issue. And so with that, I think we're done with going over the Python. I'm not going to show all the code right now because like I said, it's going to change in every single video. And for you to learn the specific code is just not going to make that much sense. If you do have any kind of issues or you want to start this yourself, like I said, let me know. We'll blend in some how-to Python with some, blockchain games and a little bit of everything, really.
Today's video is a quickie, about the obvious changes from the last video. As you can see, I now have a user interface, as well as more ready-made speeches to make video production a bit more smooth. In future videos, I hope to have more real-time information such as Cardano price and current market cap, as well as a built-in browser for relaying information to you even faster. I also will show you the latest progress on the Cardano drone, and our own Cardano node currently being revamped to go from private to public after we recode things a bit as well.
So that's a mouthful, obviously. And you're also going to notice how sometimes I'll spell it like this for Cardano. It's their pronunciation of the bot itself, or of the voice module itself. And then really with this particular unit is only so many you can use. Now if I route it through FL Studio, I can make a lot of different changes. Those of you with an Apple iPhone also know that Siri has 4 or 5 that I could probably use as well. One's British, one's Irish, just from all over. And we can grab those as well. It takes some work, but we can do it. Okay, so there's that. And I think I'm almost done. Now, I wasn't going to do this, but why not? Let's go over one of the games, because we haven't really done that yet in either of these 2 videos. So I'm just going to bring over Rollercoin real quick. And it's just kind of a fast intro, if you will. Now notice how ADA stays on top. That's another kind of function that I just wanted to have. I didn't want to constantly be hunting for ADA. And when this ends up being probably a lot smaller, and then it'll also be posted kind of as part of the desktop and not as much of a window, that's going to be fun. Because then we can change the opacity and do all kinds of crazy stuff. Anyway, this is Rollercoin, one of the first games I ever really tried. And you're basically coming in and starting your own mining operation. It costs real money to get these miners. They're on average, if you get them on sale, you can get them as low as 60 bucks and as much as 100. Now, if you're finding other ways to make crypto online, that's really not a big deal. If you're going to one of what we call a faucet, crypto faucet, some of the Bitcoin faucets that have been around for what feels like ages now, and they just give you free crypto every 10, 20 minutes, hour, once a day. There's just different ones. And it may change on based on which cryptos you're trying to get as well. But you do that enough, and with Fire Faucet, you can actually shoot. You can do surveys and get more coins, which gives you more crypto over time as well. It was getting to the point where it was easy to make $2 a day, and I kind of stopped on it for a long time now. Actually, haven't been there in a while because we found other ways to do this. So you just start in this little income stream, and then you try to build on it. And this is kind of the end of the river where you're putting some of your profits that you're not worried about into this site. And so, they're over 1 million now users, and I'm at 4,338 right now. The, and then there's always the affiliate stuff, or excuse me, referral program. There you see mine, which I'll probably blast everywhere if I can. No, but that's what's going on with this site. Really, there ain't a lot to it, except for we do need to go over. Let's go back home, chilling at my desk, and then let's go to the games, which will also help you, but they only help you for a little while. It's best not to get too dependent on the games. I sat here almost all day, a couple days, a few months ago, and it just goes down in time. So I don't even reset my PC much anymore. I do like the games. They're kind of old school. So if you haven't seen them already, it's pretty basic. You're just going through here on this one and just clicking. But the problem is people were making so many bots and doing so many things they shouldn't have been. They kind of ruined it for the rest of us, meaning they kept making the games harder and harder they put captchas everywhere. Uh, the rate at which they increase the difficulty has also gone up. So you may play 5 or 6 games and already be on difficulty setting 2 out of 6 or something. So, you know, I just play them to have fun, if anything. And it's not like woohoo fun. It's just kind of like take your mind off of stuff fun. And it ain't going to take all day. You can usually get to about 500 points, which you see I'm really close to now. 420 there. And then they'll switch the buttons around on you. Make sure you're hitting the right one. That's another bot protection feature, which doesn't do a lot of good, but it used to do a lot of good. And in this case, it doesn't look like they're going to throw the CAPTCHA at me. You'll usually know if your number moves right away, they're not going to throw a CAPTCHA at you. If it doesn't move and it's holding, that means usually it's coming. And now it's a slide puzzle, like similar to what we would get on when we logged into Binance. Back before Binance closed a bunch of American accounts, but yeah, that's another story, right? So I'm currently at the point where if we go back to home, what you got to do is you got to take this number, multiply it by 12, because this is every 5 minutes. So now you'll have how much you get every hour, multiply that by 24, and you can generally see how much money you're making every single day. In this case, if we do that, I'm probably just above $1.10, $1.11. Why don't I just go ahead and do it since I brought it up? So 0.004152 times that 12 times 24 to get $1.19. Now that's RLT, which is relatively close to the dollar. It's almost like a tether. Um, but it's also what you're going to buy things with. So it's just easier to get RLT for the time being. The only downside to that is if crypto does explode, yours stays right where it was. You still have the same amount worth. If you had Ethereum and it goes to 3,000, let's say, you missed out on that whole move. So it's always a guessing game. Sometimes I'll just switch it by coming over here, actually to my power, split the power between the coins, which means you're going to get the same amount in total, but you'll have different percentages going to different spots. No one ever gives free power. I don't think you'd want to do that. But if you could put it all in Ethereum, just bring this down to 0, bring that up to 100, or you can split things out. So once in a while I'll split things out just to say I have a little bit of everything. Then I'll come back to all roller token. Let's go to the store. So right now there's no sale. And so these are really kind of like bad deals. You can do it if you wish, especially in the beginning, you may want to. Uh, I'm to the point where I want to wait for a sale to bring this down to something like 70 instead of 99. Then they'll also come out with new miners for the holidays. We just recently had the St. Patrick's one. We had the Doge one recently, which was a really great deal. Then they kind of made people upset by putting one out that was just for the anniversary, but it was like a lot of money. So what do? You kind of at the beg I can't even say it. You're kind of at the whim of what the site chooses to do. And it's been a while since we've had a good sale on a 100 gigahash miner, if you will. So not 100, 100,000, 100K. And you buy racks first. They're pretty cheap. You can get those any day of the week. Let's see what else. Once you buy those miners, let me just show you how you move things around. And so they added this feature now too. You used to have to take everything out, but now you can click on that miner, move it. You've got to move it, put it right there, and it's pretty straightforward. So any new items you buy, it'll be the same way. You just bring them from down here, put them all up in there. I can move this to items. I can open it like we just bought it. Bam. Oops. Guess you got to click and hold now. And put her back right where she was. So you can also screenshot your room, put it on the Reddit website, and joke around, add some like different features that you could do yourself just by using Paint and pasting stuff on that screenshot that you took. So I do that a lot, or used to. So this is Rollercoin. It's, like I said, it's a good end of the river, meaning where you'd eventually put all your crypto into slowly if you're not using it for other purposes or other games. This does run on the Ethereum network, and you already know I'm pretty pro Cardano, but right now, since we are where we are, we're kind of having to wait until we can really get into making games such as, well, I'd say such as this, but far better. And I think a lot of you who follow Cardano already know why it would be far better. You're talking about greater speeds, you're talking about less fees. Gas fees shouldn't even be an issue unless you're trying to convert back and forth from Ethereum to Cardano and back and forth. And even then, it's far less than what you're having to pay now. It's probably just going to be initial costs as you move things over from Ethereum to Cardano. So I don't know what else to add really, but for a second video, I think we did pretty good. We went over things. So just like she said, and I'm probably going to have her say it again, y'all.
So, with all that laid out nicely, I want to thank you again for watching and subscribe if you are interested in seeing where things go from here. Like the video even though it's short and Google will never list it. Future videos will be longer and have much more to share about the many blockchain games out in the world, sites such as Rollercoin, Alien Worlds, Chains Arena, and so much more. Hit that bell, boys and girls, you won't want to miss what's in store.
Thank you. See you next time.